Hey everybody, welcome back to my channel. So today I'm teaching you how I do my own fake nails. I already have a tutorial on this, but it was quite a while ago and I feel like I've improved a lot over time, and I've learned some tips and tricks on how to keep your natural nails as healthy as possible in the process of doing your own nails. Now let's go ahead and get into some of the products that you will need for this process. So most of these things I actually got when I was in beauty school, but if you go to a beauty supply, I'm sure you can get the same thing or something quite like it. So first you're going to need some sort of fake nail clippers and trimmers, 2 files. Now I use the CND Barista Light top coat and base coat, and also their pink sculpting gel. You can use any type of shellac that you find. I find that using a sculpting gel is so helpful for this process. It makes your nails so much stronger and helps them last a lot longer. I used to actually just use regular shellac instead of sculpting gel and it worked just fine, so you can do that too if you want. And then you'll need some sort of nail cleanser or alcohol to remove the sticky layer off of the shellac. Any nail tips will work. I got these from Freddy's and they come with nail glue, so that's very nice. And then you'll need a shellac or gel curing lamp. I got this one for like 20 bucks at Sally's. So first thing you're going to want to do is file your natural nails to your desired length. I really like to keep them short and round. I find that having your natural nails shorter underneath the false nails is better because it lessens the chance for them to bend or crack underneath the false nails, especially since my nails are super thin on their own. Now it's time to fit the fake nails to your natural nails, and this is super duper important, so listen up. You don't want to use a size that's too big for your nail or else it will overlap onto your skin and cause some sort of liftage or breakage throughout time. You don't want to go too small or else it just won't fit your nail right and it will create tension on your natural nail and it will also just look really weird. This is the proper fitting fake nail. It is a little bit too big, maybe like a millimeter, half a millimeter too big, but you can always file them down a little bit. So I'm gonna go ahead and fit all these fake nails to the rest of my nails, place them in order, and get them ready for filing. This is so important, so be sure to take your time on it. Don't get too stressed out if a nail doesn't fit perfectly. You can always file them into place. So once you get them all ready to go, I like to take a nail file and file the absolute crap on the edges to make them a little bit less thick so that the shellac will blend in with your natural nail a little bit better. Then I go ahead and take that nail cleanser that I showed you before, put it on a really old rag that you have. You don't want to use any nice towel, and go ahead and clean off your natural nails and wait a little bit for them to dry off. Once your nails are dry, I go in with some nail glue, and I'm just using this Kiss glue that came with the nail kit. It works just fine. I'm going to put a little bit of glue on the end of that nail. And I know that this part can seem very scary because it's like you have one chance and you're screwed if you get it wrong. So what I like to do is use the stop, rock, and hold method that I used in beauty school. So you want to take that little indent on the inside of the nail. It's shaped like a half moon to reach the edge of your natural nail. So you want to push that indent up to the edge of your natural nail, and you can see right here that I'm holding the fake nail at kind of an angle so that the whole thing isn't glued onto the nail right away. I hold it at an angle and then I go ahead and rock it onto my nail bed so that all of the air bubbles are gone and so the glue is completely pushed onto the nail. I hold it there in place for a little bit to make sure it's really on there, and then I go ahead and clip off the excess nail so I don't have to deal with all that. I hope that all made sense, but if it didn't, then you can just watch me do it and I'm sure that you'll understand. Once the gluing is done, I like to take a little stick and separate my skin from the glue because sometimes, especially if you have short nails, the glue can get stuck to your nail and so your fake nails are stuck to your skin and that's just not comfortable. So I like to get that out of the way right away. That was like one of my biggest pet peeves was when I would get my nails done and they wouldn't separate my skin from the glue and it just all felt really weird and not good. So once that's all done, I like to take these little nippers. You can use fingernail clippers if you want, whatever you have, or you can just file them down, but I find this easiest. I'm going to create a little bit of an angle at the edge of my nails to make them slightly coffin shape. I don't like to have completely square nails because I feel like that just looks way too bulky, especially on my hands because I don't have the most feminine hands. So I find that skinnier nails look better on my fingers, if that makes sense. So once I'm done clipping those off, I go ahead and take a file and clean everything up, make sure all the edges are smooth and not jagged and rough. Once you're happy with the shape, I go ahead and take that nail cleaner and clean off my natural nail and some of the tip to make sure there's no nail file leftovers and gross stuff so the shellac sticks better to the nail. Then I take this base coat. It is the C&D Barista Light base coat, and I go ahead and do a very, very thin layer on the whole nail just to create a sticky layer for everything else. Then I go ahead and cure that for about 30 seconds, and then I will do the rest of the nails. I like to do my thumb first separately because it's just way too hard to fit all my fingers in the lamp at the same time. Once those are all done curing for about 30 seconds, I go ahead and take that sculpting gel. This is the part where if you don't have sculpting gel, you can use just like a regular shellac, but you're gonna have to use a bunch of different layers to make it thicker. But I really highly recommend finding a sculpting gel because it really, really makes a difference. So I first start out with a pretty thin layer. It's still quite thick, but it's a lot thinner than the second layer. But I'm being very careful to not get the gel onto my cuticle or the skin around my nails, because if you do get it on the skin, it will cause lifting and the nail won't last as long. So make sure that you're being very careful and making sure that there's no gel on the skin before you cure it. I go ahead and cure this gel for about 2 minutes, and I will repeat the same steps on my other nails. Again, make sure that you're taking the gel off the skin right before you cure it. That's a very, very important step. Probably the number one most important step that I could give you for long-lasting nails. After your nails are done curing for about 2 minutes, I'm going in with the second layer. This one's going to be a lot thicker and focusing a lot more around the dents on the nail. So I go ahead and do a pretty thick layer to begin with. And once that's done, I like to take little strings from the gel and put them on any divots that I have in my nail just to make the whole surface a lot more even and easier for me to file down. You want to make sure that you are getting those divots, or else you're going to have to do a lot more layers. Again, I will cure this layer for about 2 minutes, and then I will do the exact same steps on the rest of my fingers, making sure that there is no gel on the skin before I cure it.
Just see everything we believe.
Once that's done curing for another 2 minutes, I go in with the Barista Light top coat. This part is probably really unnecessary because I'm just going to buff it off anyways, but I just do it because I don't really know why. Just leave me alone. I just do it, okay? And then I go ahead and cure that for like a minute and a half. Sometimes I'll do it for 2 minutes, sometimes I'm too impatient to do it that long. But then after my thumb, I will do the exact same thing to the rest of my nails. After curing that for another minute and a half, I will take some more of that nail cleaner and then take off that tacky layer on top of the nails. Now the next step is super boring, and it is my least favorite part of this whole process, and that is buffing the tops of the nails. This is super boring, it's super self-explanatory. You just want to take a nail file and buff the crap out of the tops of your nails until they're smooth enough to your liking. This is also really important because this makes them look professional, so you really want to make them look very smooth. Then after that, I'll take a little bit more nail cleaner and clean off the tops of my nails. After that, you can take any color of your choosing. I always use nail polish just because I have way more color variety in nail polish. I'm taking this light pink by OPI. I will have the shade name down below and all the other products that I use as well, and I'll try to link everything that I can. But I'm using this color today. Sometimes I go really crazy with colors, sometimes I stay with just this like neutral pink. It's honestly my favorite color, and I feel like it flatters my hands so much. But I will do 2 layers of that nail polish. Sometimes I'll add the shellac top coat over it just to make it last a little bit more, but it really depends on how lazy I am. And after filming this long ass video, I was feeling pretty lazy, so I'm not going to do shellac top coat, but you totally can if you want to build some more layers on top of that. After that is my finished nails, and I don't go as long as a lot of other people do. I like to keep them rather short so I can do way more things with my hands. I feel like having really, really long nails is really limiting with some things that you can do. I don't know, maybe that's just me. But I love the way that my nails turned out. This is my way of doing them. I hope that I gave you some tips and tricks and taught you how to do your own nails. Thank you guys so much for watching. I love you, and I'll catch you in my next video. Bye guys!